come up in the last week that I wanted the commissioners and the public to be aware of, and that's an issue right over in my neighborhood with Loyola Recovery. We had, and the press is well aware of the person that broke into a house on South Division Street last week and stole that weapon, and then proceeded to steal a vehicle and drive to Rochester. Well, that person was at Loyola Recovery, and having served on Loyola's advisory board for the last several years, along with Chief Murray and Jim Bassage, Alderman Jim Bassage, and a few other aldermen. During the course of those meetings in the past, we were assured that whenever they had someone leave, that the police department would be notified. And they've always had an apparatus set up where if someone were to complete the program or leave early, they would have a ride in place for that person, and they would take that person back to their home or back to the community that they came from. And I remember those early meetings, and Chief and I discussed, we don't want people to come out of there prematurely and just be wandering around the neighborhood, be wandering around the city. So you can imagine, my alarm when I found out that this person had left and the police were not notified, and the person then proceeds to go around the corner, break into a house, steal a loaded pistol, and then steal a pickup truck from the village of North Hornell. So to say that to have a person break out of there and then be armed and dangerous in our community is not acceptable, and I'm not okay with that. And I know Chief and we've been trying to get a hold of someone with Loyola, and Chief, how many times have you called and you haven't had any reply yet?
Yeah, I've been calling several times to get a call back. And as you know, Mayor, there's been a turnover of individuals that have been working there, and I think a lot of the people that we were dealing with when we were on the board are no longer with the program.
You're right, and all the people that I've had contact with in the past have either jumped ship or gone to caught on with other organizations, and the board that you and I had served on, that disbanded some time ago just because the lack of communication and the frustration that we've had. And it seems like every time that we met, we would go over certain issues with them, and those issues were just never resolved. They'd always say, well, we're working on it, we're doing this, and then 6 months would pass and nothing would be done. Finally, and we had probably 15 or so board members, and I think most of the board members just kind of put their hands up and got a little fed up with it. But